Good evening, Sagittarius. This is David with Tarot and Astrology for All, bringing you your 5 day forecast for the next 5 days. Now, as you've seen in the picture or in the screenshot that was taken for the video, you had the lion and gotcha come out as the two top cards. Now, what this tells me is that you've got a sense, that's my dog, you got a sense of confidence about you. And this isn't a surprise, right? I feel like you've been building this energy. And at the same time, I feel like there's a passion that's rising within you. And you already know about it. So, I mean, there's really nothing else to say about that. That's pretty straightforward. That's the first time I've ever said anything that fast. All right. So let's see. Ooh, wow. So, unclear about the direction where to go, Sagittarius? Search your heart. Your intuition will always tell you where you should go, and your intuition will always guide you in the best possible direction. So make sure to get a hold of your intuition and ask it to reveal to you what your feelings are and what your emotions are, and to ask the universe how best to work through them. You know, how best to swim through them, I guess you should say. What's the quickest direct route that you can move through these emotions and at the same time still maintain your composure and your sense of self? Look at that. The dolphin coming out in the upright. I feel like this is a young, buoyant energy, and this is also water type. So I very much feel like you are in, I wouldn't say deep water, but it's pretty deep water, I guess you could say. And with the dolphin, you know, I feel like there's this necessary need to be just joyful about life and to understand that life is to be enjoyed. And from there, you'll be able to find your quickest path to your destiny. Also, with the elephant coming out in at the bottom of the deck, I should say, this elephant is all about knowledge. A lot of the times, whenever we're presented with any type of obstacle, it's usually there because the elephant sees something that we don't. And obviously, this elephant here is definitely going to have a higher perspective than most other creatures. And that's what makes the elephant so wise. It has the ability to look not just above everybody else, but remember everything as well. I think that in some way, shape, or form, you two have gained this ability of being able to remember a lot of different things. And, you know, one of the things that I get out of this too is, and the reason why you really can't find your way is because you've been burning the candle at both ends. And I feel like there's a necessary need for rest and just to have fun. You know, there's a time for work and a time for play, Sagittarius, and there's a time to relax. And this time right now is a time to relax. So go ahead, kick your shoes off, lay back, and enjoy this reading. So, as we draw the cards for the fairy oracles will reveal the emotional state. All right. So there is something that needs to be put to death, but as far as what it is that needs to be put to death, it can be either symbolic or actually physical. Now, I'm not talking about actual death, but maybe it could be not having gotten over a death of some kind, whether it's a death of a pet, death of a family member, um, death of, you know, maybe a family pet or something like that, and for whatever reason this kind of knocked you off your game, kind of made you a little bit unhappy, but at the same time, you know, understanding that higher perspective, you understand that life is something to be joyful about as opposed to looking at things in a negative perspective. And that's actually really good because what's going on right now for you, as far as death goes, or as far as this death goes, is that there's changes that need to be made to the way that maybe you communicate. Um, Maybe it's necessary to bring that energy down a little bit or bring it up and to balance it out. That's kind of what I'm getting from this. So the singer of connection. All right, so there is a connection between the dolphin and the shark, and I believe this connection is your soul, your heart, what's inside here. And also, if we think about water, we can also think about the universal connection, the universal consciousness, right? And the universal consciousness in the tarot is usually described as a lake of some kind. So, with the singular connection, though, I very much feel that there's a necessary need to connect to source to help you find your direction. You, among all the other signs, are most closely connected to source because not only is Sagittarius a sign of higher knowledge and higher education, but it's also a sign of the vastness of the universe and the entire complexity of the universe. So don't lose hope. Don't lose hope, Sagittarius. Whatever's going on right now, keep that happy energy and don't feel like all of these changes that are going on are don't feel that they're there to basically ruin you. They're there to make you stronger and they're there to help build you. So, but the oak man, I think you know this. I already think that you're very well ahead of everything. You have the fairy card right after that. So you're definitely guided by universal knowledge and you're definitely singing to the tune or you're definitely listening to the tune of the universe. Let's see what the Rider Waite has to have for has to have. Wow. It is 12:20 over here. Um, I am on like an energy drink, so I am definitely going to be doing a lot of things tonight. And why not? I mean, for the past couple nights, I have been insomniac. Insomniac, wow. And having insomnia. And I think it's just the universe's way of understanding that there's things that have to be done. You know, I can share this energy with you quite well, Sagittarius. All right, so when it comes to death, there's a necessary need to move on slowly from it, but it's slow and steady progress. This is a progress that has the ability for growth. And when you are able to come to terms with whatever may have happened and finally find your direction and start speeding ahead, it's only going to happen after you've planned it and after you've understood where it is that you need to go and also where you're coming from and where you currently are. All right. So yeah, regardless, I think you're seeing the bigger picture. I think you're seeing the. It's almost like it's almost like snowfall in a way. If you think about it, it's almost like the snow is falling on you. There's a sense of cheerfulness when you connect to the universe and when you use that energy of the singer of connection. Now, usually this card is getting over whatever it is that may have ruined you, getting over those things that maybe didn't really make you happy, maybe the people that left you out in the dark. There's a necessary need to forgive them, but there may also be a necessary need to connect to those energies and to allow yourself to process them. Ooh. Ooh. Let's see. All right. So there's a necessary need to come to a decision about whether to remain unhappy or to move forward in in this fashion of seeing the brighter side of things, I guess you could say. So it might be difficult for some of you guys to walk away from with the Eight of Cups in the reverse. And with the Lovers coming right under that, I feel like maybe for some people, this could be a relationship. For others, it might not be an intimate one, but it could be something that's karmic because we also had the number 8 over here. So let's go ahead and roll the die and see what ends up guiding you this week as far as the sign energy goes. All right, so Aquarius energy, networks, connections, right? And of course, you have Libra right on the side. So when it comes to these connections and these relationships, there's a necessary need to do research into them. And at the same time, there's a necessary need to be truthful through these relationships, and also to provide some type of energy to it that allows everybody to benefit from it. It fell right next to death, actually right halfway on death and halfway off death. So in a sense, since Scorpio is connected to death and sex, there could be something in a relationship that is keeping you from going or from moving on. It could be sex for some of you guys. I feel there's something emotional that's keeping you guys tied up, and that's why you haven't come to a decision. But at the same time, I feel like you guys are seeing the brighter side of it, and when you're able to do research on your connections and on your relationships and stuff like that, you actually have the ability to show care, and you actually have the ability to show unconditional love without necessarily having to put so much effort into it, because when you're guided by the energy of the universe, you just love. You don't choose who you love, you don't choose how you love, you just end up loving. So let's see what planetary energies are guiding you, and I'll go ahead and explain. Venus. Oh, look at that. That's such a beneficial aspect to have, especially landing on Iris of the Rainbow, because when you love yourself, you start having hope. And when you have hope, well, you have your renewed faith. And when you have your renewed faith, you can move mountains. Now, one of the things that I see here, going about it the right way, is to pursue your North Node, pursue your soul's purpose. As you do that, the central focus of it is making sure that when you make these changes, don't make them in a big way. Just steady changes, steady changes. You have Jupiter in the reverse. And part of the reason why I feel that you don't have any hope is because you don't love yourself, or you don't love yourself as much as you need to, Sagittarius. So let's see. Uranus in the reverse, too. Um, there's a necessary need to develop a sense of self. I know I said something about developing about the sense of self when I talked about the shark earlier, and so there's definitely something having to do with the sense of self, but it's not just a sense of self. It's a sense of providing, there's a sense of trying to provide something that's rather unique, and it's only something that can be provided by you. Now, I feel that if you love yourself and you allow yourself to follow your soul's purpose and not really pay attention to anybody else, you'll have the ability to walk away from whatever it is that you need to walk away from. And that decision will come just like that. You ever been fed up with certain things, and then once you snapped and you made the decision to go ahead and take action on something, and you had no doubts about it. There was no like ands, ifs, or buts about it. It was just the I'm doing it. Well, this is that energy that you need to do right here. Now, let's see what number you're going to be guided by. I wouldn't be surprised if you're guided by the number 6. Huh. So the number 4, there might be a little bit of instability in your life right now, and in your near future, you might have a little bit of instability. But at the same time, everything's karmic and everything is meant for your growth. Now, I feel that you've been experiencing these changes for a little while, and these experiences, in some way, shape, or form, once they help you grow, they're going to help you to communicate better with everybody else, and it's definitely going to help your connections. So, with that being said, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me on this reading, Sagittarius. And I hope that you can take this information and process it. And then once you actually have the ability to move forward with a certain judgment, that you move quickly and ruthlessly, I guess you could say. So, with that being said, I am David with Tarot and Astrology for All, bringing you your 5-day forecast. And join me 5 days from now for your next one. Until then, I am David with Tarot and Astrology for All, signing out.